Houston, we have a problem. If you're tuning in today, it's probably because you're a part of our community, and with that, you're probably aware of the terrible road conditions us Houston drivers have to go through every day. Why do we have so many potholes? Well, as it turns out, Houston is mainly built on clay sediment, so when it rains, it expands, causing the cement to crack. We have gotten a lot of rain, given the damage that Hurricane Harvey did and the recent storms. This weather and nonstop traffic on older roads give the foundation reason to crack. The reason that we want to talk to you about this problem is because it affects all of us. We all live here in Houston, so our commute consists of having to go from one side of Houston to the other, and all the roads are the same. We're talking about Pasadena, downtown Houston, Cloverleaf, etc. We live here, we work here, we study here. Our everyday routine consists of driving through these horrible roads, and if we're not careful, we can do a lot of damage to our vehicles. I go to the North Campus of San Jacinto College, and if you do as well, I'm sure you know what I mean by just driving down Uvalde Road. I've lived here in Houston my entire life, and I have worked in various different areas, but the roads are always the same. I used to do deliveries in downtown Houston about a year ago, and I came across some of the worst streets, and since then I've had to replace my tires twice. Today, we are going to explain the problem with Houston roads and offer two solutions to make them better: to hire or spread the need for more construction workers, as this is one of the main barriers to fixing our streets, and to pursue local funding through transportation reinvestment zones to fix, not just patch up potholes and dangerous roads.
First, let's discuss the problem with Houston roads. Houston roads are unpleasant to drive on and constantly have potholes, faulting, and uneven pavement. Almost every day, I see cars stalled with low tires because they ran through a pothole, or the uneven pavement caused a dent in their rims. An article by Scott Knoll states that KHOU 11 investigated the matter a couple years back using the city's pavement condition index. The PCI looked at factors such as roughness and cracking on the scale from 100 being perfectly good to 0 very bad. Segments from Houston streets were being rated between 2 and 32 out of 100. Eric Dargan, Deputy Director of Houston's Department of Public Works and Engineering, said that over time it can't be helped. He explained that anytime the street ratings drops below 40, it's considered for reconstruction. The problem is the city doesn't have enough money to reconstruct every street that falls under 40. As of July 2020, a survey from Copilot and the Federal Highway Administration states that Houston ranked 22 for the worst roads in the country. Houston currently has 28.6% of roadways, along with 7.9% of highway roads in poor conditions, with Houstonians driving an average of 27.8 daily vehicle miles per capita. So what are we going to do to fix this problem? Let's go over our first solution.
Now that we have gone over a problem, we will present our first solution: hiring more construction workers. Florian Martin states that the shortage of construction workers has an impact on completion times. And according to a survey by the Associated General Contractors of America, 78% of construction firms in Texas say they're having difficulty finding skilled workers, despite record employment in the industry. Ken Simonson, the organization's chief economist, said there has long been a construction workers shortage in the United States, but it's getting worse every year. Maybe offering a higher pay rate can help lure more workers. After all, they work outdoors in all kinds of weather and must wear hard hats and other protective gear because of the high rates of injury. Apart from construction workers not being paid enough to do the job is dangerous itself. There have been occasions where road construction workers are killed by passing cars or their own machinery. According to Goodwin, working in construction is a good way to die while not making a good living. Construction workers' wages are low, but accidents and wage fraud are high. According to the WDPUT study, 1 in 5 workers will require some medical assistance due to an injury. Increasing the wage and providing more safety precautions for injuries that may result can ultimately lead to a better outcome, as more people may be willing to work to help fix our roads.
Now that we've gone over the first solution, I'm going to introduce our second solution, which is pursuing local funding through the creation of transportation reinvestment zones in Houston. Transportation reinvestment zones, or TRCs, are chosen areas that are located near transportation projects. These zones would aid in funding the reconstruction of deteriorating old roads and promote development of new highway, roads, or bridges by capturing tax increment, as stated by the Federal Highway Administration. In order for Houston to create a TRC, they must choose a zone that would benefit from the transportation project and must be underdeveloped. Then the city must acquire sponsors to issue debt by leveraging new property tax revenues generated within the TRC. For instance, the renewal and future maintenance of the US 181 Harbor Bridge located in Corpus Christi was financed by the combination of federal, state, and local funds raised from transportation reinvestment zones. Therefore, the city of Houston can reconstruct their damaged roads fully rather than the same continuous paving routine where the surfaces of the roads are bound to break away again. Overall, we have described the problem of the poor road conditions of Houston roads and presented two solutions that can reconstruct the roads, which was the process of hiring and expanding of construction workers that are key to the renovation of the roads and the creation of TRCs in Houston to provide funding for the improvements. The city of Houston is ranked the fourth most populated city in the United States, filled with over 2 million people who are repeatedly traveling night and day on Houston roads to meet their needs. Having many of Houston roads be extremely deteriorated is undesirable, causing further delays on traffic when a car breaks down due to a pothole. As Houstonians, we should spread awareness of the harm our car can take by constantly driving on worn-out streets so that the seriousness of the problem isn't taken lightly and viewed as an urgent issue by the city. Thus, Houstonians can peacefully protest and push the city to fund projects for the renewal of old roads. Wouldn't it be pleasant to drive on smooth paved roads, especially when you're in a hurry and don't have to worry about your car hitting a pothole or bouncing off a street due to a random bump?